everyone, Neve here with the Rainbow Cauldron, and this is your weekly general reading for February 11th through the 17th, 2018. Okay, so, actually these are supposed to be like this. So, I will pull one card from an Oracle deck, and this month I am using the Brian Froud Fairy Oracle. And that will represent the general theme of the week, something to think about. And then I'll pull 3 cards from the Shadowscapes Tarot, and that will represent the general flow of energy throughout the week. All right, let's get started. All right, so this tarot deck, or this Oracle deck, is a deck that I don't normally use very often, and because of that, I do have the book for it next to me here, so that we can go through it if we get a card that I don't fully, that I'm not well aware of. So, all right, so let's get this started. So the first card, this is the general theme of the week. We have Sylvanus. Okay, so before we consult the book, let's just look at this card and see what we can come up with based on the imagery. So the first obvious sign here is that we're seeing this mask, and it's obviously his mask. He's either taking it off or putting it on. So masks symbolize deception or revealing truth, something like that. And then we see the sword here, and it kind of reminds me of that Ace of Swords that we got last week, where that was talking more about cutting through deception and finding truth and swift justice. So I sort of see that same sort of connection this week here. This whole idea of truth or hidden truth. And I'm looking at all the faces of the people around, and this person, these fairies, are all looking away, almost like they don't want to face me, the reader. The only people who seem to be looking at us are this fairy back here, the main fairy, and the fairies behind him. So it's almost as if they know the truth, he knows the truth, but everyone else doesn't seem to know, or is looking away, doesn't want to see the truth. And of course we have this in the middle, which I think this pixie or fairy in the middle here, which is illuminated, and illumination really signifies knowing the truth, is an illuminated mind. So we're seeing here with this fairy, this is the truth, and everyone in the front here doesn't want to see it, whereas everyone in the back here is looking straight at the viewer. So straight at the reader, straight at us. All right, so let's see what the book has to say about this card. Also, this is card number 34. So that would be a number 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. So when you reduce 34, it's 7. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. All right, Sylvanus, and I'll put this right on top so we can look at it. Truth, cutting through deception, you know, there's that sword, and clarity. That's the main key words. Brian called this painting the Mask of Truth, True Dreaming. Sylvanus, who holds the Mask of Truth, is Lord of the Woodlands. His crown of antler branches signify his authority. He presents the mask to us, supported by the Fairy of Aspiration. Fairy of Aspiration, yes. He presents the mask to us, supported by the Fairy of Aspiration, as she welcomes us to our own potential. We wear the mask to look inward, seeing our true selves, not our false or fearful selves, but the beings of light that we truly are, and what we have the potential to be. It becomes very difficult for us to make excuses and blame others for our failures and fears once we have seen what we could be if we were willing what in fact we already are, but are not quite living up to. I thought it was very odd, the mask of truth, that there is a mask of truth. It seemed to me that we use masks to hide truth rather than to reveal it. Oh no, Sylvanus assured me. First you put the mask on and hide, and then you take it off to reveal the truth. Very fairy. I see, I said. Not certain I did, but not sure I wanted to either. Besides, Sylvanus continued, your face is not your truth. Sometimes faces need to be hidden so truth can be seen. Or sometimes you need to make a crack in consciousness, an aha moment, in order to see a truth you have been blind to. Okay, so there's more to this, but so what I'm getting from this is that it's kind of surprised by truth. Where deception is what's leading to the truth. The truth that we thought was true turned out there was something deeper behind that. That was a mask for the truth behind that. And that makes sense because here we are, all these fairies, they're actually a bit more illuminated. So you would think that they know the truth, but they're all looking away from us. They're all not looking at the viewer. Whereas the fairies in the dark, the ones where you would think those that are illuminated would know the truth and those in the dark would not, the ones in the dark are looking at us. So that is the real truth. And I think this is what this card is telling us. Surprised by truth. Deception leading to truth. All right, so let's move on to the tarot readings. All right, so the first card we have is the Two of Pentacles, okay? Then we have the Star. And that's interesting too, because this very much connects with that. And finally, we are seeing the Four of Swords. Okay, so with the Two of Pentacles here, we're really, the Two of Pentacles is about balancing mundane tasks. It's about time management, and we can see that he's very carefully and skillfully balancing all these aspects of his life here. But we have to prioritize what's most important to us, because if we add too many things, he could crumble. So we're right on that edge of making sure we're managing our time perfectly, we're managing our tasks easily, but caution to not add too much and prioritize before that juggling act fails. All right, and that is kind of leading us to the Star here, and this is a big connection with this one. Now, I was going to say 17 and the 34, that's 7, and this is 18. This is 8. 1 plus 7 is 8, so 17 reduces to 8. So they're not quite the same. However, with the Star is about hope and faith renewed, and 8 is the number of strength. And the Star tells us to be open to new ideas and transformation, which very much connects to this. And if we look carefully, normally the Star in normal decks has 8 points. However, since the Shadowscapes Tarot is a little bit more connected to the land of fairies, we see that this is a 7-pointed star, which is more in line with the stars of fairies. 7-pointed star, and that is what's connecting it here with Sylvanus, the card number 34, which reduces to 7. So even though the Star is 17, therefore 8, we're seeing that connection of the 7-pointed star here with the 7 of this. So this is when a truth is sort of revealed. And then we have to take, once that truth is revealed, we have to take a step back now and really contemplate that truth. And that is what the Four of Swords is telling us to do here. The Four of Swords is all about contemplation, relaxation, rest, and having new information and thinking it through before you're acting. So that's what we're seeing. We're starting off with a lot to juggle. We are juggling it well, but a cautionary advice to not take on too much. Whereas we're suddenly getting a new truth here. We're getting a new, new information that we were not at all expecting, as we're seeing here. Something we thought was true, turns out there was something deeper to it. And now with that new information, we've got to take a step back from the juggling. We've got to take a step back from balancing this information and really contemplating this information and thinking it through before we act further. All right, so that's the reading for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Blessed be. Bye, everyone.